What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm gonna make this short and sweet though. Went to a little function tonight. My little nephews they had like a little thing for the Christmas, and it's been a long day. But there was a conversation about this game coming up with the Raiders, right? And pretty much everybody know like you got rivalries, right? You have these rivalries and you got these teams that you always want to beat, right? The Raiders is one of them teams that you always want to beat as a Bronco fan. Like, that we get up for Raider Week. A lot of people will tell you that we get up for Raider Week. And they were talking about how important the next part of our stretch for the Bronco season is and how important it is. I'm gonna say it like this, man. Oh boy, as Raider fan in the building. What's up with it, man? Appreciate you. So I'm just gonna say it like this. For the last couple years, the Raider week with the Broncos, it hasn't been amped up because really, to be truthful, for some years, Raiders and Broncos both have had some not too good seasons, right? And there was a time where they were sweeping us and they had a streak on us. But this game coming up, they really don't have the same feel because Raider Nation, bro, they got so many problems with their franchise that they're not really. It's not a game that you really looking into and saying, "Hey, we need to just turn up and smash on these fools," because really, to be truthful, homie, they're kind of going through another rebuild, and you know what I'm saying, it don't have the same atmosphere. Usually it has an atmosphere where it's like those are the division rivals. It's Raider week. This is the week we turn up because there might be some implications that you're battling for something and just to have bragging rights with fans of the Raider Nation. But I've been going and seeing a lot of podcasts and live streams that a lot of Raider fans are just depressed. They don't have the same energy, and it's not even fun talking football with the Raider fans because they ain't really even looking forward to anything. So you don't really get that same energy that usually, you know what I'm saying, they putting out there. So I'll say it like this. This game coming up, bro, in my opinion, this game is important to Broncos country, though, because the implications behind it, right? If Broncos win the Raiders, right, New England has a bye week. That means that we catch them for the number one seed, homie. We're not really battling anybody else for the number one seed. So when I think about it, homie, it's not even important for the Raider and Bronco week, just the rivalry of the fans, because really Broncos are on top and the Raiders are down and out. So it's not, and yes, you want to kick the Raider Nation when they're down. You definitely want to have bragging rights and be able to gloat, which Bo Nix kind of already starting to own the Raiders. So we kind of already have like some bragging rights. We're going to probably sweep them for the most part, but I think they're actually tanking. But for the importance of the seeding of the playoffs and how important the playoffs, because we're coming into a time where the playoffs are coming up. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I didn't even mean to do this live because I was out and about and I just got home, but people were talking about it where I was, and then I had a couple people talk about how do I feel about this game coming up. So off of just the fact of how important it is for the playoffs, this game's hella important, right? But the atmosphere is not even there no more, homie, like right now. Until the Raiders can win some games, it's not even the energy of the Broncos and Raiders, the shit I grew up off of. Most Raider fans right now are depressed. They don't even really want to talk football. And even when you go to the live streams and you state the Broncos are running the show, a lot of Raider fans ain't even talking shit because they really don't have nothing to say right now. I'm going to have some cool Raider dishes. So in reality, the atmosphere is not really what it's been in the previous years, like me growing up. It's kind of a boring weekend. Raider fans right now, they're kind of forced to just chill and be more humble than any time I've ever seen the Raiders Nation. Like they're not really even talking any shit. But the Broncos have an opportunity to get a hold of this aspect of the number one seed, because if they win this game, the Broncos win this game, right? If the Broncos win this game, the Broncos solidify the number one seed, right? And New England has a bye week, so they don't have a lead on us anymore. So all that Broncos country really has to do is win this week and then keep winning at home, because the next 3 out of 5 games are at home. So Broncos country right now has a big opportunity, bro, to solidify the number one seed in this shit we call the playoff run, right? That's why it's important. It's not even important because of Raider fans. Like, to me, I'm not even tripping off of like the Raiders and all that shit. I'm tripping off of the playoff seed. Because right now, bro, that the atmosphere of the Raider and Bronco week, it's just not amped up, to be real. This is probably the most boring time I've ever seen Raider fans. Like, they're just down. And of course, Raider hater, we're gonna definitely kick them fools when they're down, but you can't even get Raider fans to actually even talk no shit with you. They're just down in the dumps. Bro, I just went to a live, homie, and all their fools is talking about the draft. That's all they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So there's not really no trash talk from them. And then we're not even looking at it as just a regular Bronco and Raider week. We're kind of just like, it's business now. We're fighting for something way bigger than just a Raider and Bronco week. We're fighting for, now we're playing for the playoffs. Now we have an opportunity to take the league by storm and make an indent in what we're doing on this season, bro. What up, Loyal? What's good with you, bro? Because you think about it, homie. Like, think about this shit. If Broncos country seems to get the number one seed, you got to ask yourself, who can come into Denver? Like, who can come into Denver? And this is to every football fan out there. Who can come into Denver and actually beat the Broncos in Denver in the playoffs? I really want to know, like, opinions. Like, who could actually beat the Broncos in Denver come playoff time? And I go through every single team that's in the playoffs, and all of them have flaws, bro. Every single one of the teams in the AFC got flaws, meaning there's a reason why they might not make the Super Bowl because of the flaws, which they say that Bo Nix is the Broncos' flaw, the offense, right? But every team in the AFC got a flaw. Every single team. There's not one team that's a juggernaut in the AFC. And the ones that people consider the juggernauts in the top tier, they're all having problems, and they might not even be in the playoffs. So when it's all said and done, Broncos have the best defense, and they're battle prone, homie. Like, all the way around, they're battle prone. Broncos country's battle prone. They don't lose close games. I talked shit to Raider fans the other day and told him the Raiders and everything. He didn't do nothing. Yeah, what can they say right now, my homie Blue? They're down in the dirts. And usually I find it in my way to shit on the Raiders because I'm just a Raider hater, right? And I do. That's what I do. But it's like, when you ain't getting the energy back, homie, you can't get one Raider fan to really just talk some shit. You know they're down and out. They're down in the dirt. So it's like, it's a new day and age, because they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with their whole franchise. Like, their whole franchise, they just rebuilt. Homie, and now they're back in a rebuild. Imagine Broncos country. Like, imagine Bronco fans. Imagine being in that predicament where every 3-4 years you have to rebuild. It doesn't matter like the moves they make, they're back to another rebuild. That's a franchise. If you're fans of that franchise, you have a real right to be like really frustrated. Because that franchise, it could never get out of its own way. They don't really make smart moves. So like that's the thing about it is it kind of just seems like it's never going to change with that because they really don't know how to bring people in to change the culture over there, you know? So we got a game in Vegas, man. That's where it all starts, right? This playoff run starts in Vegas. And if you get the win against the Raiders, that's a way game. See, and I look at it like that. How many games do we have still that's away, and how many games do we have at home up to the playoffs? And we got like 3 games at home, and that right there is just it's perfect because it's the harder games at home. I feel like we can beat anybody at home. And then you go to Vegas, that's probably a win for the Broncos, and you go to Kansas City on the road on Christmas. And the way Kansas City's having problems, you have an opportunity to sweep the Chiefs too. So we got the Chargers here. And then we got Green Bay Packers here. We got a couple other games that are here, but majority of our hard games are in Denver. So opportunities open up with them home games because Denver is just hard to play out here right now. So if we take care of our business, bro, come playoff time, we're gonna have the number 1 seed. And I honestly never thought I was gonna say this, bro. I really didn't think this, homie. Like, really, to be truthful, that the Broncos would have a number 1 seed. I said we could probably get maybe 3-4, but we're talking about the number 1 seed, the best record overall in the AFC. And if you have the home field advantage out here in Denver, you have a big opportunity to go deep in the playoffs. And if you get to that AFC championship in Denver, I mean, you might see the Broncos in another Super Bowl, you know? And just think about like 2 years ago, bro. We didn't even think this was possible with what was going on with the Broncos. Nobody was given that a chance. Everybody thought the Broncos were going to be in a rebuild for the next 6 years. People were saying we would go on a 15 year dry spell because the Broncos were just down and out. And now we're talking about number 1 seed in a matter of a couple of years under Sean Payton. I mean, that's impressive. I mean, you got to have some balls and know what you're doing to change the culture all the way around. So yeah, that's my opinion right there. Like, I'm not looking at it anything else but just taking care of business for this game coming up. There's not really no atmosphere and energy behind the game. You know, we're going in this and just taking care of business. We're going to Vegas. We'll paint that whole stadium orange, turn Vegas orange, the stadium, and just go take care of what you have to for Broncos country. Go in there and knock them dudes off. This last year, yeah, that's another thing is too, bro. We don't have to worry about that shit no more. We did this shit. We did all of this with the Russell Wilson situation in the contract. We don't have to worry about that shit no more, bro. You know, but our destiny's in our hands, homie. Our destiny's in our hands. Like, we have a foundation, and just think about it like this, man. When you're gonna go into the 3rd year with Bo Nix, right? I think if Bo Nix just fell off the face of the earth in his sophomore slump and he just fell off, then we could worry about Bo Nix, right? We could worry about him if he just fell off the face of the earth in his sophomore slump. But if he gets through this sophomore slump, and let's just say that the Broncos go to the playoffs, right? And he gets some playoff wins, even if he don't make the Super Bowl, he gets a playoff win, which they said that he was not going to be able to do, bro. You really got to look at it. The third year is a charm. And I said this, Bo Nix, in 4 years, that dude would be in a Super Bowl. It's already coming true faster than I even thought as a Bronco fan that looks at stuff in detail. I thought in 4 years, I gave Bo Nix 4 years to get to a Super Bowl. And we're already like, it's not far-fetched to think that Bo Nix this year, even though I still think you still have to build and it's the next year, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos somehow get to the Super Bowl, bro. I wouldn't. I can feel that shit. Like, everything is telling me, no, you got 3 years, but in my heart, in my mind, I'm like, bro, look at the scenario. Just look at the road to the Super Bowl. If it comes through Denver and people have to travel out here, there's not a team that can come out here and just going to blow us out. That's the first thing. With this defense, you're not just going to blow out the Broncos. And at home, you're going to be you'll battle the Broncos out here. And if you're close enough to touch, you slip up one time, the Broncos can actually beat you. And they're basically giving this shit to Drake May. I hear all these fools give this shit to Drake May, right? They're giving him just the torch to just be the best team in the AFC. What the hell is Drake? Let's be real, fellas. All the fools that are on Drake May bandwagon or whatever, what has Drake May done to really open your eyes that he's just this phenomenal quarterback that can go head to head with the Broncos defense and even go head to head with Bo Nix, right? My thing about Drake May, bro, if you go look at the schedule, he's beat nothing but bottom feeder teams. He's lost to the Raiders this year, bro. So when I look at Drake May, I'm not like he's probably the least I'm worried about because he hasn't paid. He really just played people that he had a shot against, and he's did the best he could. I mean, kudos to him. But are you telling me that hopefully he just can't come back for a postseason? Are you telling me you're giving all the torch to Drake May, and he hasn't even been in a playoff yet? So you're just giving the torch to this dude? He hasn't even been in the playoffs yet. So why are we granting this fool all this love, and he hasn't improved anything to nobody, homie? He hasn't proved anything. He literally got the torch, and people just gave him the top spot because he got the best record. But if we're going to look at it in the logical sense of Broncos, right, and we depict all of Broncos, what they do, we have to look at all these quarterbacks. And to me, who has Drake May really beat? You can't name one team that's above 500 besides the Buffalo Bills. And the only reason why that might have been is because they're a division rival, and you know how division games go. I don't want to hear that shit. Division games, a division team can beat a juggernaut in your division because you know each other. But everybody else, bro, it was below bottom tier teams. So I don't even fear Drake May. And if he has to come out here to Denver, bro, Tom Brady didn't beat us in Denver. The GOAT. He couldn't beat us in Denver. Overall, the Broncos just own the Patriots. If he has to travel out here, you really put in confidence that Drake May is going to come out here and battle our defense? Yeah. How you been? It's been hella cold. Hell yeah, it's freezing. My salute. What's up with it? What up with it? Come on, man. Let's be logical. I don't see the young buck coming out to Denver, homie, and battling our defense. Like, any football sense knowledgeable and not biased, any fool's gonna look at that and be like, that's a problem for a young quarterback to have to battle this defense. So I don't think they're the biggest threat to the Broncos. The biggest threat to me would be the Texans or Buffalo Bills, right? But you don't. What weekend are you going to get the Buffalo Bills? Because Buffalo Bills are not the old Buffalo Bills that we know. So it leaves the Texans. The Texans because of their defense. But are we supposed to be scared of the Texans? Didn't we beat the Texans? Are we supposed to be scared of the Texans? I'm not scared of the Texans. Who else? Who else in the AFC are we supposed to be scared of? The Chargers? Man, when I hear this narrative that Broncos get into the playoffs and they're going to be one and done, and then I start looking at the real scenario of the Broncos, and we have a big opportunity to play home field advantage, like one and done, man, ain't no team really want to face the Broncos in the playoffs. You don't want to face a ferocious defense in the playoffs, bro. Hell no. Nah. You don't want to face a ferocious defense in the playoffs. And Broncos just got one of the most ferocious defenses in the NFL. But he's hurt. He's hurt, Mailata. He's hurt. Freaking Danny Dimes got a broken fibula or whatever. He's hurt. And they've been losing. They just lost their whole stilo. So, nah, hell nah. We ain't going to let no down. We beat them too, really. We beat them too. So, going back to the initial question, if you're putting everything on the Colts, they got a hurt quarterback. And they lost the last two games. And they actually got dominated in the last two games. So I'm not really worried about them. I was for a minute. Nah. The only one I see extreme, bro, is probably the Texans. And I would say the Jags, but I mean, Jags are good though. Don't get me wrong. We play them at home too, I think. But they don't really put with this defense, bro. I'm not worried about the Jags. Like, I'm not worried about anybody coming to Denver. You know what I'm saying? But the Texans would definitely, they would be the one that I would be the most like, okay, we got to be on our A game. But when I hear one and done for the Broncos in the playoffs, one and done, homie, what? I don't even trust any of these other teams. I trust the Broncos more than I trust any of these teams because the Broncos defense is just that good. And offense don't technically have to be that good. You just have to keep teams close, and the defense is very capable of keeping any team close. And if you're not battle prone to win close games, you're not beating the Broncos. Broncos are battle prone. So you can put every team that we lost to this year, bro, even the Colts and the Chargers, we lost by one possession, bro. And we won most of our one possession games. So if you don't blow us out, you just don't blow us out. You're not gonna. There's a big shot. You're not gonna win the Broncos in a close game. So you better hope you're up by 17 points in 2 minutes because this defense is gonna keep it close. And then we have the Mile High Magic. That's the messed up part is that you're not messing with the Broncos. You're messing with the Mile High Magic. Well, the Texans right now, their defense keeps them in every game. So that's why I would be more prone to being a little like we have to come with our A game because their defense is number one. Like they're up there with the Broncos in defense side. And that's a hard reality. When you play a smash mouth defense, it's hard to actually score on that, you know? But I just laughed at it because everybody's giving Drake May this big old – they're praising Drake May like he's just the new thing coming. But he don't even have no playoff experience, bro. He don't even know what it is to be in them pressure games. At least Bo Nix, he kind of knows. He was in the playoffs last year. We gotta start looking at this shit in logical sense. People be looking at this shit like because they're biased against the Broncos. They're just a lot of biasness against the Broncos, bro. We got to start looking at this in logical sense, fellas. The Raiders have been in dysfunctional for 22 years since the Super Bowl against the Bucks. Ooh-wee. They ain't being Denver this week. Man. And honestly, to them, they're probably trying to tank, to be real. They're probably trying to tank. They're like, bro, what's the point? Because they have to get a quarterback in the draft. They can't go with Geno Smith. Because it's like, bro, are they going to change the culture? And the only way you're going to change the culture is get the foundational piece, a quarterback, right? But I don't see them. I don't see them getting a W. Now they'll keep it close, whatever. I don't care as long as we win. Because I'm not a fan that it's so. Oh, CJ Stroud should came back after the concussion. He'll be. See, that's another thing is too, man. That dude is a good quarterback, CJ Stroud. So that's a team. That's a team that you have to be worried about if you're playing them, right? Definitely. I would say the Buffalo Bills, if they're going to be there, they can do us a big favor, homie. Buffalo Bills smack up New England the next game that they play. If the Buffalo Bills slap up New England the next game, bro, and we beat the Raiders, we're already going to have the tiebreaker on the New England Patriots. And then we get some home games where we don't usually lose. The New England Patriots can fall a game behind us in that number 1 seed, and the Broncos solidify that shit. The Broncos will solidify that shit, bro. The Chargers are not catching us. The Colts are not catching us. They all got hard schedule. So we just need New England to fall to the Buffalo Bills, and the Broncos take care of their business. You give us number 1 seed, playoffs is a whole new ball game, and the Broncos, you could look at the Broncos really in a Super Bowl. I mean, it's like, it's kind of crazy to say that from where we were 2 years ago to now. 2 years ago, they didn't even know what the hell was going on with this Broncos team, bro. We had Russell Wilson. He was soaking us for money. And they said once we got rid of him, we were falling to the bottom of the barrel. And Sean Payton had a different decision, and he made some decisions, and he just said, "Hey, I have a different type of vision." New England is more one and done than Denver. That's logical right there, bro. I feel it because Nights with Ricky, bro. I mean, when you look at who they played, and I know this is the NFL, but if we're talking about the Broncos and we're always pinpointing how the Broncos are winning and who they want, the Broncos, you can say that they haven't beat competition, bro, but they beat both of the Super Bowl champions from last year. They beat the Dallas Cowboys when they were on fire. They beat Kansas City Chiefs, division rival that have been running the whole division for years. And then the way that they're coming back in games, bro, they're battle prone. That's a scary team. Battle prone, that means that they know how to win. Who has New England played, bro? They played, go through their whole schedule, and I guarantee most of the teams that they played, they're all below 500. But why is it when it comes to the Broncos, we pinpoint what games the Broncos win and how they win, but we're not going to pinpoint all the bad teams New England have played in how they beat these teams and who they play? Like, it's just hypocritical. Take Lions money line for tomorrow. Yeah, money for sure. Lions. I pick Lions in my picks too. Yes, they would be the number 1 seed if Buffalo beats New England. If Buffalo Bills beat the Pats, wouldn't that help? Wow, yeah. So if Buffalo Bills beat the Pats in a couple weeks, because this week New England is on a bye. Broncos win the Raiders, we take the number 1 seed. And they can't get ahead of us no more like they were because they didn't take their bye yet. That's why they've been taking it from us every week, and it goes back and forth. But if New England has the bye and then the Broncos beat the Raiders, we automatically take the throne of the number 1 seed. And then the next week they have to play Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills knocks them off. The Broncos come home for the game. When we're a game we're one game ahead of them dudes. We just solidified that, bro. All we have to do is just control our own destiny from there. They can't even catch us at that point. Because even if they tie and they have the same record out of us, we take the overall and we take it from them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that Buffalo Bills game, we need to be riding with the Buffalo Bills in that game, bro. Because I'm not gonna say that the Broncos, like, traveling in the postseason is a little different, bro. That would be a hard road for Broncos to have to travel. Now, I say like this: if they have to travel, we'll still get the number 2 seed, I think, though. We'll get the number 2 seed, so we'll get a game in Denver still. We just won't get home field advantage for the whole playoffs. But it would be hard to travel, bro. That's where it gets complicated because you got to go on the road in the postseason, and that's a hard task. But I think we still get a playoff win. I think Bo Nix this year, he gonna solidify he can win in the playoffs. Third year, that's when I'm saying the Broncos can be there and all the way compete for a championship. So yeah, man, it's hella exciting though, but it starts this weekend. Broncos take care of business with the Raiders. And you know what I'm saying? We just got to solidify it up, man. This is an important time of the year for football, especially when you're playing for something. Some teams ain't gonna. Well, we got a game against the Jags too, so that game right there. Now that I look at it, bro, because I feel like this, man. When you go into a playoff, run. I said this, and people were like, "Nah." I feel like you never want to go into a playoff run with a streak, right? Because streaks are made to be broken. But if we did have to lose, I wouldn't mind losing actually to the Jags, to be honest. But yeah, man, we just control our own destiny. That's it. That's all. It's kind of incredible to me. And this is how I know the NFL is kind of weird. Today I was hearing how, and we have to come to realization with this shit too, man. They need to stop feeding into these teams where like it's kind of a lost situation. I heard them talking about how the Chiefs still have this opportunity, right? In which they do. But you know what it would take for the Chiefs to even get a spot in the playoffs? Chiefs would have to win every single game. They would have to win every game out. And then everybody ahead of them would all have to lose every single game pretty much. So there's not really a shot, but for these fools to really say the Broncos' biggest threat right now, and this is disrespectful, homie, to put Kansas City as the biggest threat in the playoffs to Broncos country, and they're not even right now, they're not even in the playoffs picture. So why are we still, and I just don't understand, why are we still talking about this? We got to let it go, man. They'll be back next year. The Chiefs going to be back next year or whatever. But we just got to let this go, bro. I know they want Patrick Mahomes in this playoff run, but it's like, bro, they did it to theirself. They did it to theirself. Nobody did it to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know they want to push that narrative of having Patrick Mahomes in these playoffs, but can we start talking about the teams that are pretty much there? And I promise you, you have Patrick Mahomes out of the playoffs for a postseason. A lot of people that are just kind of tired of football are going to come back because they want to see new blood in the playoffs and they want to see a new Super Bowl contender. Nobody wants to watch the same script over and over and over every year. You know, it makes football it makes us be, as football fans, being able to breathe again. Like, damn, we got some new teams. We got some new blood, new competition. That's funny, fool. Yeah, so yeah, man, it's cool to see the lineup, bro, because we didn't, it's not the same old Ravens and the Bills, like they're fighting, but the Chiefs and all the ones that are always there, you know what I'm saying? Like the Bengals. It's cool to see. It's cool to actually see some new blood, man. It makes shit a little exciting. Like, yeah, bro, I can watch this year because let's be real, man. When you got certain teams, you kind of just feel like they're gonna push certain teams through anyways to boost ratings. You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of how it's been feeling like the last 4 or 5 years. You kind of already know what the scenarios is going to be. Now we don't even know what the scenarios are going to be. We're getting some new competition, new aspect of games, and now we can talk about these teams and what they're fighting for, and you know what I'm saying, because it's not the same shit. You know, we needed a break from the same old scenario. I thought it was cool, man, to see Jacksonville Jaguars in the hunt. I thought it was cool. Even with New England, it's like, damn, New England's in the playoffs this year. The Texans. Now, I don't know what the Chargers are gonna do. I don't know. Maybe they won't even be in the playoffs. And you know what's sad? And I'll leave you guys with this. What's sad about this whole thing is that this would have been the perfect opportunity for Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Burrow to slide through to the Super Bowl because Patrick Mahomes is not really going to be there. Their kryptonite is not going to be there. This would have been the perfect opportunity for them to try to reach the Super Bowl. The year he's down, but now we don't even know if them dudes are even going to be in the playoffs to even be able to battle for that. I know that. I know as a fan of them teams, bro, you got to be sick when you think of it like that. This would have been the perfect opportunity for them to try to reach the Super Bowl. But like we always say, them windows are closing, man. There's new teams with new quarterbacks, and you gotta open that window and slide through the window as a football team. Like, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. You only get that one shot. You miss the ride. You don't know when you might get back there. You don't know when you might get back to that opportunity, man. And in football, it's so critical to go through that window when you have the opportunity. Because what really sucks is franchises that technically don't win, that don't never win really. Um, if they lose that energy and they don't ever make it with certain quarterbacks, you really don't know when them dudes will ever be back to competing. You don't know when them dudes will be back to competing. If they lose, if when Patrick Mahomes leaves Kansas City Chiefs, can we honestly say the Chiefs will ever reach the highest pinnacle again? Why would we believe that when the Chiefs technically in their history never been really good? They never been that team to compete. So why would we believe that we'll ever get back to that point? They landed a phenomenal player with the Chiefs. You'll never reach that. You'll never ever reach that again. Some franchises just has the if factor to win championships. Some franchises just don't. Some franchises are just an example of what it is to fail. Well, yeah, we got the if factor. You know what I'm saying? We got that boy Bo Nix. The difference between what we root for and these other teams, bro, is that with Broncos country, it doesn't matter if we fall off a little bit. In our DNA, we're champions. And we want champions in different eras. You know what I'm saying? So there's always an opportunity with the Broncos to be champions because it's in our DNA. These other teams don't have it in their DNA. These other teams, you just know when they lose a key player or something and they lose that charisma, they might never get that shit back. They might never find that itch again, bro. Imagine being a Charger fan, man. Imagine being a Charger fan. And no disrespect to the Chargers, but imagine that, fool. You grew up rooting for the Chargers your whole life. You've been a fan forever. You haven't even sniffed a Super Bowl. You went to one Super Bowl your whole franchise history. And this is what kind of really is puts the nail on the coffin. You had a quarterback like Phillip Rivers with Hall of Fame numbers and stats. He couldn't even get you to the promised land and win a championship. And now you got Justin Herbert, and he could have Hall of Fame numbers and stats, and it doesn't look like he's ever going to win a championship. If you have two quarterbacks like that, bro, that never got you to the promised land, to a Charger fan, bro, and if they really thought about it, that's demoralizing, homie. Because it's not even in your DNA. It's not in your DNA even to win a championship. So now you're stuck in thinking about this and living off of false hope. You're basically living off of false hope. And it's like, damn, fool. Oh, damn. My shit's about to die. You're living off of false hope, bro, because you'll probably pass away going to war for this squad, knowing damn well there's no indication you'll ever win a championship. But them dudes that be representing, they swear